Mahmoud Khalil, a legal permanent resident of the United States, finds himself at the center of a life-altering legal battle. For years, Khalil has built a life here, working, raising a family, and contributing to his community. Yet now he faces the threat of deportation, a reality that has upended everything he knows and loves. Despite years of calling America home, Khalil's future is suddenly uncertain. The quiet streets and familiar neighborhoods he once felt safe in now seem shadowed by the possibility of being forced to leave. His case brings to light complex questions about the nation's immigration laws, the boundaries of free speech, and the extent of government oversight. At the heart of the matter is whether the system truly protects those who have followed the rules, or if it can turn on them without warning. The government alleges that Khalil was not fully truthful on his residency application, a claim that has triggered a lengthy and emotionally draining legal process. For Khalil, every document and every hearing carries the weight of his future. Supporters rally to his side, arguing that Khalil is being unfairly targeted for his political beliefs and activism. What began as a personal struggle has now become a public debate, drawing attention from advocacy groups and concerned citizens alike. Khalil's journey has included arrest, time in detention, and the constant stress of navigating a complex legal system. The emotional toll on him and his family is immense, as they face the possibility of being separated from the life they've built together. His legal team is working tirelessly to appeal the government's decision, arguing that Khalil's rights have been violated and that the process has not been fair. They believe his case could set an important precedent for others in similar situations. This case highlights the intersection of deeply personal lives and sweeping national policies. It forces us to consider how laws affect individuals, families, and entire communities, and whether justice is truly being served. By examining all sides of Khalil's story, we gain a deeper understanding of the impact immigration policy has on real people. It challenges us to reflect on the values we hold as a nation and the rights we extend to those who call this country home. Ultimately, Khalil's fight is not just about one man's struggle. It's about the ongoing tension between personal dreams and national policy, and the hope that justice and compassion can prevail. On September 12, 2025, a pivotal moment unfolded inside the imposing walls of the federal courthouse. After months of legal arguments, mounting evidence, and emotional testimony, a federal judge delivered a ruling that would dramatically alter the course of Mahmoud Khalil's life. The judge ordered Khalil's deportation, a decision that sent shockwaves through the courtroom and left his family and supporters reeling. For Khalil, who had spent years building a life in the United States, this was a devastating setback, a critical blow to his hopes of remaining in the country he now called home. The atmosphere outside the courthouse was tense, as Khalil's loved ones anxiously awaited news. The judge's decision not only threatened his residency, but also cast a long shadow over his future, leaving many to wonder what would come next for the man at the center of this high-profile case. In a detailed statement, the judge explained that Khalil had misrepresented himself during the immigration process. The court found that he had failed to disclose key information, and these omissions were not accidental. Instead, the judge determined that Khalil's actions were willful, constituting a clear violation of immigration law. The legal documents presented in court highlighted the seriousness of these violations. Khalil's legal team argued that the omissions were minor and unintentional, but the judge was unconvinced. The ruling emphasized that honesty and full disclosure are fundamental to the integrity of the immigration system. When Khalil's attorneys requested a waiver, hoping for leniency based on his personal circumstances and contributions to the community, the judge firmly denied the request. This decision underscored the court's commitment to upholding the law, regardless of individual hardship. The government's legal team emerged from the courthouse, expressing satisfaction with the outcome. The ruling validated their case, reinforcing the message that the immigration process must be respected and that violations will be met with serious consequences. Yet the story was far from over. Khalil's defense attorneys quickly announced their intention to appeal the decision. They argued that the ruling was too harsh and vowed to continue fighting for Khalil's right to remain in the United States. The legal battle, they insisted, was not yet finished. News of the judge's ruling spread rapidly, drawing intense public interest and sparking debate about fairness, due process, and the challenges faced by immigrants. The case became a focal point for discussions about the complexities of the immigration system and the human stories behind legal headlines. Ultimately, The judge's decision underscored the importance of maintaining the integrity of the immigration process. It served as a reminder that the law demands transparency and truthfulness from all who seek to make America their home. As Khalil faces an uncertain future, his fate now rests in the hands of the appeals court. The outcome of his case will not only determine his own destiny, but could also influence how similar cases are handled in the future. At the center of this legal storm is Khalil, whose journey through the U.S. immigration system has become a flashpoint for a much larger debate. His case revolves around what some see as simple omissions on his green card application, details that on the surface might seem minor, but have now taken on enormous significance. The forms he filled out, like those completed by thousands of hopeful immigrants each year, asked for exhaustive information about his past. But Khalil left out two key facts: an internship with the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, known as UNRWA, and his involvement with a student activist group during his university years. These omissions, whether accidental or intentional, have become the crux of the government's case against him. The authorities argue that failing to disclose the UNRWA internship and activist ties was not a simple oversight, but a deliberate attempt to hide information they consider relevant to his eligibility for permanent residency. The student group in question was known for organizing peaceful protests and advocating for social justice on campus. Khalil's participation, according to his supporters, was part of a broader commitment to civic engagement and free expression. But the government's lawyers see things differently. They claim that these omissions were material, meaning they could have influenced the outcome of his application, and that Khalil intentionally left them out to avoid scrutiny. On the other side, Khalil's legal team insists there was no intent to deceive. They argue that the forms are notoriously complex, and that many applicants make honest mistakes or misunderstand what needs to be disclosed. Beyond the paperwork, Khalil's lawyers believe the real issue is the government's focus on his political beliefs and associations. They say his activism is being unfairly weaponized against him, turning a bureaucratic process into a referendum on his right to express dissenting views. This case, then, is about more than just a few missing lines on a form. It raises profound questions about the boundaries of political expression, the reach of government power, and the rights of immigrants to participate in civic life without fear of retribution. For many, Khalil's omissions are being used as a pretext to punish him for his political speech and activism, rather than for any real threat he poses. The debate now extends far beyond the technicalities of immigration forms. It touches on the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution: freedom of speech, association, and the right to due process. Khalil's case has become a test of how the U.S. balances national security concerns with the protection of civil liberties, especially for those who are not yet citizens but hope to call this country home. In the end, Khalil's fight is about more than just paperwork or legal technicalities. It's about the values at the heart of American democracy, and whether those values will be upheld for everyone, regardless of their background or beliefs. The government argues Khalil's case is about upholding immigration law. They claim he committed fraud by misrepresenting himself. His ties to UNRWA and a campus group are seen as security concerns. The government insists the case isn't about political opinions. They focus on the act of omission, not his beliefs. The judge agreed, denying a waiver and ordering deportation. The ruling emphasizes the importance of honesty in immigration. The government enforces the law, not retaliates against activism. Khalil's actions, not his views, led to this legal battle. Khalil's legal troubles began with a sudden ICE arrest in March 2025. He was detained far from home, causing hardship for his family. During detention, he missed the birth of his first child. The separation highlighted the human impact of deportation proceedings. His detention conditions raised concerns among supporters. The experience was jarring for someone used to life in New York. Khalil's arrest and detention show the severe consequences of deportation. The legal battle disrupted his life long before a final decision. His story underscores the personal toll of immigration enforcement. Khalil's fight is about more than legal arguments. It's about family. In June 2025, Khalil was released from detention, a major victory. Judge Farbiars found no risk in releasing him, challenging the government's stance. The judge also blocked Khalil's deportation temporarily. This decision allowed Khalil to prepare his defense and reunite with family. The court took his civil rights claims seriously, examining government overreach. His release came with conditions like surrendering his passport. Khalil's legal battle continues, but he's free to fight it from home. The ruling was a crucial safeguard for his rights. Khalil's freedom is a step forward, but the threat of deportation remains. Khalil's legal team plans to appeal the deportation order. They argue the judge misinterpreted the law and facts. The appeal will focus on the weight given to his political activism. Khalil's lawyers frame the case as a civil rights battle. They claim the government retaliated against his activism. The case unfolds on two tracks: immigration appeal and civil rights claim. The BIA appeal challenges the deportation order's legality. The federal court examines free speech and government retaliation. The outcome could set precedents for political speech in immigration cases. Khalil's fight is about more than his future. It's about rights for all. Khalil has spoken out, criticizing the legal process as unfair. He believes he's targeted for his political views, not omissions. Khalil accuses the government of punishing his pro-Palestinian activism. Court documents show his activism influenced the judge's decision. Khalil reframes his case as a stand against government suppression. He portrays himself as a political dissident facing retaliation. His voice adds a personal dimension to the legal battle. Khalil's story is about more than legalities. It's about justice. His fight is a public stand for free speech and personal rights. Khalil's case tests the balance between immigration law and civil rights. It questions if political affiliations can lead to deportation. The outcome affects immigrants engaging in political advocacy. The case highlights tension between security and free speech. Khalil's arrest and detention show the human cost of deportation. The case is a symbol of the struggle for individual liberties. If deported, it could deter political activism among non-citizens. If successful, it reinforces free speech protections for all residents. Khalil's case is a powerful symbol of balancing security and liberty.